And I'm gonna just start it off right quick. This is just a quick. We're doing it again, fellas. It's an emergency podcast. We've done it before. Now we're back here again. Here with my two special guests, Mr. Heinz from the FT Podcast.
What's good?
Keto Island Boys Podcast. And Law, UceSkywalker in the house from the UceSkywalker Podcast and Focus on the Road Podcast. And he's got another one coming out. Did that drop yet, Uce?
Oh, no, not yet. Kilo boy.
Okay.
Keone, yeah.
Yeah, let us know. Definitely. I can't wait for that one. But yeah, man, we're back again for all the Growin Samoan listeners. Thanks for tuning in. This is just an emergency one, throwing it out there because I really wanted to get something off my chest and talk about what we're going to talk about, mainly like what it is right now. Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matters here in the U.S. and it's just something that we just can't avoid, and something that Polynesians like us have been living through, especially our group right here, our age group, us young gentlemen in our young 40s.
Yeah.
Being pretty much all of us were pretty much raised out here in the U.S., West Coast area, and been through it all. I remember growing up and watching the whole LA riots go down, Rodney King, living through that. But first of all, just want to thank my Usos again. You know what I'm saying? What's up, y'all? What's cracking?
Not much, man. Thanks for having us, brother.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
And we're going to get through just chopping it up, man. We're just going to chop it up, man. We did the coronavirus when all hell broke loose. It started out here in Seattle where me and Law is, UceSkywalker, and we said, damn, we got to do something. We got to talk about it, spread the word, We got to get awareness out there to do the podcast space, and we did it. We did like 2 of those, and it was just crazy. And now, fast forward it a few months later, then we got, the Black Lives Matters movement. I can't even say that right. Y'all say it for me.
Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
Say BLM.
Yeah, okay, I'll say BLM.
Say BLM.
I always thought with my words, but yeah, BLM is real shit. It's real talk. I've been talking with Tala, the wifey, a lot about it, and it's just like, damn, man, because we lived through this. This is where we're from. Racist ass United States of America, where that elephant is always in the fucking room. You've been through it since you guys were kids. I have since I was a kid, all the way till now. We're like in our 40s, But
yeah, man. Go ahead.
I just want to give a big shout out though, and I wanted to give a big shout out to the Tough Block podcast that Heinz was on.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. I listened to the Tough Block podcast. I listened to it earlier today, and they also, I think, correct me if I'm wrong. His son or his children are Akasi. Yep. So the Afmeoli, right? So they're half black. So he reached out to the poly community podcasters, a bunch of them, and said, I wanted to get a Pacifica group going and talking about this. And that podcast was powerful, bro. I listened to this more. I was like, wow, and I shout out I sent a Instagram a comment, and I was like, man, that's powerful, man. I love it. I loved it. Because, I mean, I don't have no, Maoli kids, but I can feel the Usos pain, So shout outs to everybody that was on. And you interviewed some of those guests that were on that.
I interviewed one of them, and then all the others. That was the first time I talked to all of them ever.
Oh,
so
man,
it was good. Yeah, it was crazy. It was just like, I was like, oh man, that's tight that we can all come together, as polys. We don't even know each other. And, I just got hit up randomly, and it was just like, so like this podcast movement within the Polynesian community is growing. Like, So it's just tight because, like eventually I want everybody to know everybody, so it's like I feel good that was able to be in some of those spaces, and I'd like to have all of those people on my show. Like, I'm thankful for you guys for being on my show, and I love doing these collabs with y'all. So it's good, it's just good because, I mean, for years, we got The Rock now, but outside of him now, before that, for years, the Polynesians didn't really have a voice. And if you saw them, they were, either athletes, you know what I mean? And that, or wrestlers, that was about it. And outside of having a real prominent national voice or a voice that's out there that people can listen to or relate to, we didn't have that growing up. We didn't have that growing up in our time, and so we would have to go out and research people that have done things, that may have written some books, and that was very far and few between. But it was dope with technology today, and the fact that this podcasting thing is starting to grow. Everybody has an opinion, everybody has a voice, everybody has a brand, and it's just tight that it's just growing out there. So I love all of these collabs. It's good for everybody.
Yeah, it's the shit. So that podcast, if anybody listening, the Growin Samoan listeners want to check that out, it's the I got it right here. It's called the Pacifica Crossover by the Tough Block podcast, and it had you, Heinz, on it. It had Superfly Sua,
yep,
and For the Cultures, Danny Boy was on that,
yep,
and also let's see, the Aisle 7.
Aisle 7 podcast.
Aisle 7.
Yep.
So big ups to all of them, man. Big powerful thing, and just like you said, man, the movement is growing, bro. It's
beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And, it's just as beautiful as UceSkywalker's background over there in the
Oh, I know, right? Let me power up the ship because it's about to go
It's tight.
down. It's about to go down. But
So,
yeah, no, that's cool. Everything you're saying, man. We got a platform, and then I think we have the responsibility of using it properly, man,
mm-hmm.
and doing the things we always wish other people could have done. Like Heinz said, we didn't have a voice back in the day. Now we do. And whether it's 1 or 100 people that listen, man, you guys know, we focus on the road, man. I'll talk a lot of shit on there. That's random thoughts in my mind. But at the same time, I always got to remember what we say means something to people. So, when we do these emergency podcasts, man, I think it's our responsibility to do something positive with it.
And just be a voice, just like you guys are saying. We had the Rock football players, Jesse Sapolu, Joy Polamalu, and now we got the internet where we can hop on as just your casual, normal Samoans who's been through the shit, who, we're not celebrities, but we just have our own opinions, and now we're voicing it in real time to put it down, an etch in history, living through this Black Lives Matters movement. I said it right that time. The BLM movement.
Oh, yeah. Just
like we were able to lay it down and record for the coronavirus. We were there from the beginning. And now we're here for this. This is like, for me, it's history. We're being embedded in history right now, right? As we talk on this podcast.
Yeah, man. It is.
Yeah. The civil rights movement. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, right? Like we want.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I mean, 2020, we're not even halfway done yet,
mm-hmm.
and it's already this is a major year in history. Like in our lifetime, I don't think we've had a year like this. You know what I mean? I mean, multiple shit has gone down that has affected the world, and it's still going. We're in the middle of it. And a lot of it is shit that's been going on only because I think it's the power of the internet, man, that now everyone can see it. There's no more denying it. And everybody has to react to it. You have no choice. If you think you're just going to sit back and do nothing about it or or tell yourself, I don't want nothing to do with it, you don't have a choice, man, because they're burning shit in your cities. You know what I mean? You have to face it. And it's crazy, man. I'm going to be honest, man. It's made me, myself, I'm really rethinking a lot of the ways of how I look at things, even as it pertains to racism.
How so? What do you mean?
Well, with me, I've always known racism existed. Okay? And, I know Henry can relate to this. Heinz, I know we were all knuckleheads. We did our shit when we were young.
Oh, I got stories. I got stories.
Yeah. I got in a lot of trouble, you know what I'm saying? And when it came to the police and the way they treated you, when I got pulled over, cuffed, everything I did, man, I knew I deserved it because I was doing that dumb shit. As I got older, I started learning how to play the system. I haven't had a ticket since like 2001 or some shit like that.
Wow.
Because I knew how to be a silver tongue when it came to getting pulled over by the police. I knew how to act. By the time I was done, by the time they took my license and paperwork to their car, I had them cracking up. So they came back, and I always get a warning. I get pulled over at least 3 times a year. I get a warning every time. So my thought process was, man, all you got to do is this. If you just don't mouth off, you're going to be all right. And even though I've seen videos where it didn't go down like that, my thought process was still, yeah, but if you would have just did what I did in the beginning, that never would have happened. The difference is, yeah, as Samoans, as Polynesians, we experience that racism, but not on the same level as the black man in America. That's what I'm coming to realize.
Yeah, never.
Had I been me as a black man that got pulled over, that would have been a different story. If I would have been trying to joke around, it might not have went my way. I forget that being Samoan, being my size and the way I look, cop's going to be a little bit intimidated in the first place. Even though he's got the power of the law and a gun on his side, he's still a little bit intimidated because polys, we have our rep, right? Mm-hmm. If these foe makers come swinging, you're going down. So with that intimidation factor and the fact that I'm cool with them, I feel like, okay, they're just relieved. Now, for the purpose of letting people know what it really feels like, kind of like what I did on my podcast earlier, when a racist motherfucker looks at us, they're not going to like us because we're not white, right? And if they don't like us, it's because they don't like Samoans. A Samoan did something to them to where they don't like Samoans, okay? It's different for the blacks, right? They see a black, they just instantly don't fucking like them because they're black. And what do they see when they see a black man? They see a nigger. They don't look at a Samoan and see a nigger. That's the difference, and that's the difference I'm starting to realize and really realize the shit that they've been putting up with and why it's been so hard and why now, just like myself, I think everybody needs to recognize that, man. As a matter of fact, I know everybody needs to recognize that. It is different for them. It's harder for them. And yes, all lives matter. But what I'm learning is right now, all eyes are on how blacks are affected by it. Focus on that problem right now. That's the message they're trying to get across. Do you guys see this?
Well, Kaepernick's been trying to get that message across.
Yeah, he has. I didn't want to pay attention when he did that either. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
I was just kind of like, okay, I get it. But I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? I understood what he was doing, but it didn't affect me. Like it is now.
I mean, it's true. I feel like what you just said is true. I feel like if you're black and you have any interaction with the police, I feel like the percentage of things escalating out of control is much higher for people that are black with the police than anybody else, just for being black, so which is why I don't know, man, it's just crazy. And it's true because it's, we don't have to experience that as bad. Like I said, damn, like for you to get pulled over 3 times a year, it's like, but even then, that's still, I feel like that's kind of a lot. Like, are those warranted? Or because some people could also say, hey, you're getting pulled over because you're not white too,
Yeah,
Like,
check this
some
out.
people
Check
say
this out.
that.
When I was still dating my ex, we weren't, before the kids, Roman and my older boys were born, I had a 98 Nissan Maxima in like 2000. And, sound system, tinted windows, everything. I had a tinted license plate cover. And I'm on South Tacoma Way and like Stillicum. You remember where the Arco is in there, over there in Lakewood? Yep. I'm driving towards Oakbrook or Oakwood, whatever. We used to call Vilata Park. The softball park, right?
Yep.
I'm driving towards that. I look to the right of the dealership. There's a squad car sitting there. I look at the squad car, and I made the mistake of looking away quick. And I said, fuck, why'd I do that? Instantly, they're going to come after you. Right? So, boom, they pull me over on 96 at South Tacoma Way. Now, my ex, straight up white girl. She ain't never experienced this shit. This shit don't exist to her. She was like, are you getting pulled over right now? I said, yeah, don't worry. I said, just sit still. Don't say anything. I got this. And, yeah, my car had an illegal tint. So what did I do? I roll all my windows down so they can see inside perfectly. My hands on the steering wheel. Just put my hands right up there. And she was like, this is bullshit. You didn't do anything. You weren't speeding. I said, just shut up. Don't say anything. Say absolutely nothing right now. Cops come up, both sides of the car, guns drawn, doing this shit, the gun and the flashlight. Before they say anything to me, there are flashlights in the car. Boom, boom, boom. And then they stand all the way, like kind of by the, what's it called? The quarter panel of your car, the blind spot, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're standing all the way back there saying, you have your license and registration? I said, yes, I do. And he said, okay. And they continue to look around. Have you been drinking? Blah, blah, all these questions, right? My hand's still on the steering wheel. And here's the ex. She's getting ready to say something. I said, don't say anything. Don't talk to them. I got it. Wow. So they walk up, and they said, all right, you got your license, registration, boom, boom, insurance, all that. They said, do you know why we pulled you over? I said, I have absolutely no idea, but I know I did something wrong or you want to pull me over, right? That's how I'm talking to them. And they're like, yeah, well, you have a tinted license plate cover and we couldn't see a license plate. And it's actually illegal in the state of Washington. I said, illegal? This is exactly how I'm talking about. I said, illegal? But I bought that from O'Reilly's or Napa, whatever the shop was. I bought that from them. On this road, down the street by Tacoma Discount World. He goes, yeah, I mean, you can illegally sell it, but you can't put it on your car. I said, man, those motherfuckers, they better give me a refund, right? Now they're laughing. I said, those fucking assholes, man. I'm going to get a refund. Trust me, I'm going to get a refund. Can you put it on my ticket that I should get a refund because they sold me some illegal plate covers? And the cop was just kind of giggling. He was like, all right, well, I'm going to go run this and make sure, everything's all good. I said, yeah, I'm all good. I mean, you might find something on there that some buffets don't want me back. I don't know if that's a crime. And then, they're laughing. They're laughing. Yeah. They go back to the car, come back, and they're like, yeah, so just, go ahead and go home and take the license plate cover off. And, you won't have to ever worry about getting pulled over for that. So they get in their car. They take off. Here's the ex. She was like, that's fucking bullshit. They can't see. You can see right through that thing. I said, I know you can. Then why'd they pull you over? I was like, profiling. She was like, what the fuck does that mean? I said, because look at the car we're in. Yeah. Okay, Maximas and Ultimas are like black vehicles. She was like, who says that? I said, just listen to what I'm saying. It's a black vehicle. They looked at me, right? They probably thought I was black. The way I looked away, you break eye contact like that with a cop, they think you got something to hide. You don't want to look at them. That's how I knew they were going to pull me over. And she was like, they can't do that. Why didn't you take like their badge number or something? I said, I didn't get a ticket. She was, but you have to fucking say something. I said, no, it's over and done with. I said, this is normal. I said, this is life in Lakewood, girl. You act like, oh yeah, you're a white girl. You don't know nothing about that. She was like, no, I'm calling tomorrow. I said, no, you're not. You're not doing nothing. I said, that's the shit we put up with. You know what I mean? So to me, I always took it like, man, you just got to deal with the shit. You know, that's how I always live my life. I just, hey, it exists. Whatever, man, I'm going to deal with it. But that's as a Samoan, right?
That's as a Samoan. And that's the reason why, like, we're doing this podcast, is because the whole point of it is how the police are trained. You know, the racism within every police force that has that same mentality of profiling, whether you're, you know, black or you're brown skinned, you know, or you just look like, you know, you're different. You know, it's racial profiling. Why can't they fucking nip that shit in the bud? What's taking them so long? You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. That's what's going on right now. Why, you know?
You know, honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with, so let's say you want to be a nurse. You want to be a doctor. You want to be a dentist. You want to be an auto mechanic. How long do you have to train and learn this shit before you're certified to be one, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go to school for auto mechanics at Clover Park Tech, that's a 2-year course you got to go through, right? Longer if you want to be a nurse, you want to be an x-ray technician. How long do you have to train to become a police officer? 6 months, 4 months. And then, after that, the amount of months, you're given a gun and the power to just strip away people's civil rights whenever you feel it's necessary. Right?
Well, not only that, it's the point that, you know, just like I loved how Rogan put it. Like, he had his military dude on there in an interview, and he was saying that the Navy SEALs, the BUDS training, they fucking got the most intense training in the whole fucking world. And that kind of shit weeds out all them little pussy ass motherfuckers that shouldn't even be in there. Yeah. So you're dealing with the police force in America. That's the type of shit we need, you know, the hardcore shit that'll weed out and then pay the motherfuckers right. Because I would love to see the police roll down the street into the hood and hop out the cars and everybody treat them like firemen.
There you go.
They're supposed to be the firemen. They're supposed to be the heroes. That's how it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be the ones where they're like, oh, the police officers here. Oh, yeah. They're not in America. We know why. Because it's all fucked up. But, you know, why can't they, you know, train, you know, do some intensive training to where it should be like that, where they're just cool-minded. They have some kind of fucking, you know, mental kind of, you know, training courses they got to go through because.
Yeah. And make it, like you said, like the SEALs, man, it's got to be difficult, man. You got to weed out.
Yeah.
Who's weak? Who's weak-minded?
I think a lot of it too is you got to weed out especially the weak, but people that are scared, because I think that's another thing that of how not scared, you know, / racist, because I feel like that's another reason of how things escalate really fast. You know, somebody's not used to being around black people, and you know they automatically assume that they're committing a crime or something like that, and they pull them over or they stop them, and they've never really interacted with them before, and they're legitimately frightened of them, even though they're not doing anything. They're, you know, and I feel like that's the issue is you have these cops that are just boom, shoot first and ask questions later type. And that's how a lot of these people are dying too, is just by doing everyday things that we take for going for a jog, you know, selling CDs, whatever it may be, just going to the store and
or not even going anywhere, just being in your own home.
Being in your own apartment. Yeah, being in your own apartment and having somebody come in and shoot you is like, that's so crazy.
That poor kid, that Millie kid in San Ho, you know, he was in his grandma's backyard. And then he got murdered back there from the popo just by being in his grandma's backyard. And it's like,
there was a lady in Dallas she thought it was her apartment, and she went into another guy's apartment and just shot dude because.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. I mean,
it's like, man, these people are they're not doing anything. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And she's so scared. You know what I mean? People, like, you have these cops that are just so scared. It's like, that to me is one of the biggest issues, is that, I feel like there's racism in police department. I have friends that are cops. I have friends that are cops. Like I have a friend that works up in Linwood. He straight up told me, he was like, and he's white, and he was like, hey, yeah, he's like, the way these guys joke around. He's talking about is like the other cops. He's like, the way these guys joke around, you could kind of tell they're kind of racist. And I was like, damn, like that.
Yeah, I mean, I could really see it being like, it's like a cop culture. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's
definitely.
Been that way for so long that it's just the way you got to be when you end up joining the force. And I know a lot of them don't join in, but they're not going to say nothing about it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's their job. That's their livelihood.
I think it also depends. I think Lakewood cops are maybe a little bit more lenient than somebody in like Bellevue or Everett or something like that. I just feel like because they're around more minorities, they're around more people of color, they're around more, and sure, I think you're more likely to have those type of people that are in the force that are also minorities. So. But yeah, I think that for the majority of the police across the nation, I think that culture is strong. I think it's we can't prove it, except for the fact that we have a lot of these discrepancies where you have people murdering blacks like left and right. So
I got a question I wanted to ask you too. Since we're talking about police, police brutality and these crooked cops and racism in the police force, Laws told us one story about it, and I know he pretty much has more. I got tons, but what I wanted to ask you guys is, this podcast, we're doing this because of the BLM movement, but whose fight is it? Is my question to you guys.
Whose fight is it?
Whose fight is it? Because go ahead, you guys answer that, and then I'll let you guys know my opinion on it.
Oh, for me, I honestly believe, for me, it's America's fight.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Black Lives Matter, I know it's global. You know what I mean? It happens everywhere. But as it pertains to America, man, it's everybody's fight. You know what I mean? I think BLM is just bringing it all to light. BLM is, if it wasn't for this, me, myself included, wouldn't care as much as I do now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody has to grab onto this and start running with it and not let it go. I mean, yesterday everybody was posting the Black Square. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Blackout
you hear about
Tuesday.
That? Yeah, Blackout Tuesday. And that's cool and all. But, you don't want everybody to just think, oh, yeah, I'm going to put this up. All right, guys. And then tomorrow I'm right back to my same old shit. One thing I was talking about, I actually recorded one on the way home, and it was a thought I had. If we're going to so it's everybody's fight. It's America's fight. And for America to make a difference, it's going to have to start in your home. And that's easy to say, right? It's easy to say it's going to start in your home. But as Samoans, our folks, our family, our uncles, been doing racist jokes forever. I don't want to say racist jokes, prejudice jokes, okay? Comedy. When you make a joke about, stereotypes and all that, it's comedy. Nobody in my family hates black people because of the color of their skin. They don't just say, I hate black people.
Well, we're not killing people for the color of your skin,
Yeah. But there's the stereotypes that everybody's going to tease. Now, how far do you want to go to help stop racism? If you got an uncle that's racist, but you love your uncle and he's always joking like this and we want to stop it in the home, are you going to tell that uncle to stop? Like, hey, man, that shit ain't cool. Don't do that. I mean, really think about it. If that uncle's sitting next to you making the jokes that he always makes, but you love this motherfucker to death, can you really turn to him and tell him that ain't cool? Because for me, I don't know if I can. I'm be straight up. As much as I'm coming to realize this shit, I can teach my kids, you know, I'll tell my sisters, everybody, hey, no, don't do that. They don't. But I'm saying, I got uncles from California that joke like that all the time. If they were sitting right here in this car, listening to what I'm saying, and they started making jokes, I don't know if I can confront them and tell them, don't do that, to help stop racism. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a battle that everybody's going to be faced with. You know, easy to say, easy to post online, easy to say on this podcast, but can you really do it? You know, I think it's going to take time. You know, some people can't. Some people are just like, you know what, maybe I'll just start with the next generation, teach my kids better. But in all honesty, that's too late, man. This shit is happening now. You know, shit hasn't changed now. And I think we're just conditioned in such a way, it's hard to break. But at least we're all aware it needs to be broken. A new way of thinking needs to come around. But I don't have the answers. That's why I chose not to do what I always do on Twitter, is clown and talk shit. And I haven't been active. And a lot of people take that as, oh, whoever's not talking is because they're racist. That's not it at all. I chose to stop talking and listening because I need to know what the fuck is really going on, right? I heard about George Floyd dying. Oh, he was just another brother that got killed out in Minnesota out by a cop. But when I actually took the time to watch the video and start learning shit, it was fucked up, man. When you watch that shit, man, a piece of you's gonna fucking die when you watch that shit. You know, I watched the full video of every word he said when he was down on that ground. Man, it's heart-wrenching, bro. That was hard.
I didn't even watch it yet. I didn't.
Crazy, it's brutal.
Yeah, I mean.
What about you, Heinz?
Oh yeah, man. Like, who's responsible? Dude, everybody. Yeah.
Whose fight is it?
Whose fight is it? Yeah, man. It's everybody. You know, and I think that was really good. Law is just talking about how, like, just being honest. But I think you're right. It starts at home with the mentality that you have in your house, and then it's just trying to spread that out into, you know, and you're right. It's like, I feel like it's hard to have those conversations with people you love that are maybe doing things like that may be talking a certain way, but I think eventually we all need to change our mentality, you know, as far as this is their issue, because this is everybody's issue. Because, I mean, unless you're planning on leaving the country, or, you know, a lot of people just stay within their bubbles, so they see this as not being an issue to affect anybody. But, I mean, we all interact with each other. We all, you know, we're all going to have to interact with each other wherever, if we're traveling anywhere, if we're going anywhere or doing anything. And so, in order for this to happen, in order for changes to happen, it needs to start with us at home, and, like you said, with our families, with who we interact with, how we interact with them, and we have to have that courage. I feel like, you know, to, you know, you might not want to call them out like how you're saying, Law, but I think maybe maybe just finding a tactful way of bringing it up of how to stop maybe doing some of that, you know. So but as far as responsibility, like, whose fight is this? Is everybody's, because, I mean, we all have to live together. We're all living on this country together, specifically because this is where the issue is. But we all live on this world together too. But for things to change, it needs to start at home, for sure. And then I feel like from there, it's got to be, like, a lot of this is institutionalized. So, you know, like, in our schools, we need to learn more about the history of how racist this country is. I feel like you said it's the elephant in the room that nobody likes to talk about. We love to just glaze over this issue of racism in our country. But it's like you can't do that and then not expect these things to change, because you're going to continuously have these things happen over and over and over again. And a lot of people don't understand the history of this country. You know, people, they might know, there used to be slavery, but that's so long ago. What does that have to do with us today? Well, it has a lot, because a lot of laws and rules were built and made to deny Black people of basic human rights. Like, for example, just the right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they drafted the Constitution, Black people were only 3/5 of one person.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So like that right there, it's like laws had to have been changed in order for us to be to where we're at today. So if people don't understand the history of where we came from, then we can't move into the future, because everybody just assumes there is no problem. Because if it doesn't affect them, then they're just like, well, I don't have to worry about it. It doesn't really affect me. And it's like,
yeah,
no doubt. And
before ignorance. Oh, go ahead.
Before we go on, we're going to take a quick break. All right.
Yeah.
So don't go nowhere, people. We're just going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back with Heinz, touching up on his last, opinions on whose fight is it. And go ahead, Heinz, if you want to finish up.
Yeah, no, I mean that's pretty much it. It's just I feel like everybody needs to take wind of this and somehow be a part of it, because if you think you're not, you are. So it's going to affect you one way or another, and that's the reason why people are protesting, is to make people kind of understand that this is going to affect you somehow, some way. And so then that's all. It was real interesting to see the amount of protests, not only in the big cities, but also in some of the smaller cities that were having protests. It's just like, this is real, man. This is affecting everybody. This is everybody's fight. And if everybody can't get on board with this, with at least understanding where Blacks are coming from, then things will never get better,
Yeah.
So
I wanted to voice my opinion on this matter with you two, my two Usos, because this is history going down in the making. And if we don't voice our opinions, what's the point? It's like we have to say something about it, especially from our perspective as Polynesians, Samoans raised out here in the States, West Coast, where it gets pretty hot out here sometimes. I mean, the Rodney King, the LA riots, we've been through that. We were born, we lived through that. We know it's like that's part of our lifetime history. And mainly trying to just get a feel out there for maybe like future people who are listening later down the road, 10, 20 years from now, that just want to look back at how the Samoans thought about this whole BLM movement and how they were affected in it. And I'm going to tell you right now, being a 40-year-old Samoan man, I feel sorry. I feel sorry, not really sorry, but I feel for our Maoli counterparts, because, we're raised with them. If you go to all the hoods, you got the Maolis on the West Coast. Right next door to the Maolis, you got the Samoans or the Tongans, the Polys, whatever Polys you may be. And it's like we all have like a sense of brotherhood, because you're just raised in the same environment. That's why we get the pass from saying the N-word, because it's automatic. Just like the same goes with the Asian homies that are raised in the hood, but mainly like us Polynesians. I think that question for me is, it's kind of like what Danny Boy said in that podcast I listened to with you guys earlier, about when people, as a Polynesian man, looking at the BLM movement, when people were crying for Mount Mauna Kea, and it was a Polynesian thing. It was nobody else's fight around the world. It was a Polynesian fight. All the Polynesians from around came to Hawaii, and they represented. They showed up for our Polynesian brothers. Samoa came, Tonga came. I mean, come on now, everybody was over there, you know. And it was a Polynesian thing, you know. Now that's cool for us as Polynesians. We can do that. That's our fight. You know, it's our Hawaii brothers and sisters trying to fight against the powers that be, trying to take over their mountain. And us as Polynesian brothers and sisters support it. For the BLM movement, I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. It's mainly from out here. It's the racist USA Police Department police force. And I'm not talking about the good ones, I'm talking about the racist ones. And for me, it's like, we're raised out here. Heinz, Law, me. It's our fight. Because we're right next to, you know, our Maoli counterparts. And we get treated, you know, not the same, but we get treated, you know, just like how they get treated in some ways. If you're from another country and you're supporting it, I love it too, because there's racism in all countries, in all police departments, and that's what the real fight is about. But for the BLM movement, fuck, dude, we've lived in it forever here, my whole lifetime, your whole lifetime here in the States, in the US. And it's mainly our fight, but for the whole world, it's like, you know, it's their fight within their own countries, within their own neighborhoods, against their own, you know, racist police force that they got to deal with. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like that in Auckland, New Zealand. I'm pretty sure it's like that in, you know, Australia and many parts of the world, you know. But yeah, the BLM movement, if you're not, if you're not from the US, it's not really your fight. But if you're supporting it from around the world, then that's what's up. That's some love right there. You know, that's some real love. And that just means that you're fighting what's the main cause, is fucking humanity, fucking like just overall evilness. Like, the whole world is watching this evil happen within our country, and they're like, what the hell's going on, man? We're here to support you. Just like how, you know, we were all there for Mount Mauna Kea to support them. It's like, you know, we gotta protect our own, you know, and we gotta help out people who are getting beat up right in front of us too. And the whole world is seeing, you know, this BLM movement, everybody in there getting beat up, and the whole world is stepping up. But this goes to my next question. And that question is this: if the whole world is finally stepping up, the United States is finally stepping up, they actually charged all 4 officers with, you know, second-degree murder for the first guy, and the other 3, they charged them. My question to you two now is, you guys think this is just a viral thing? Because
getting charged because it went viral?
Oh no, I'm talking about the whole thing, because we've been seeing videos left and right our whole entire lives. We've seen Rodney King. You know, we witnessed how many numerous deaths on camera. And why now? Why now did this movement happen? Do you think it's viral, or do you think it's just because of all the craziness? You know, the pot's been boiling, and now it's just spilling over with the coronavirus.
I think it's a combination of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
If we didn't have this internet access, we didn't have social media, we didn't have our own voice, we are able to create our own TV shows, our own radio shows now. You know, we were limited to what we seen on TV. And they can control what's being said or what's being told to the people. Now, I honestly believe if the internet and all this didn't exist, this wouldn't have went as far as it's gone. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The internet is quick because I didn't even know about Drew Brees. What were you talking about, Drew Brees, earlier? Heinz?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, real quick off that subject, I think the virus literally, it's like people are cooped up, and then Memorial Day, you get to witness somebody being murdered while they were handcuffed, or they were already subdued. They're on the ground. You see the knee to the neck,
mm-hmm.
and then you literally, it's sad because you're literally watching somebody die.
And bro, it wasn't quick. It wasn't quick. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just a reaction.
Yeah, because gunshots are gunshots are a lot of times reaction, but and those can be graphic too. This was just like, dude, he's not moving. Why are you still on him? He hasn't moved for. He was on him for 8 minutes. Damn, dude. And he was, he was struggling. So
when you watch that video, watch that cop's face, and you're gonna be able to tell all the thoughts going through his head at that time.
I don't want to watch it, man. I'm probably one of the many that hasn't watched it. That's not a racist.
Have you seen the picture? Have you seen at least the picture with the knee on his neck?
I've seen the picture.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much 8 minutes of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you watch something like that, now I can understand what people are out there. But dude, Faces of Death. I've watched that when I was a little kid. I've watched numerous.
But that's exactly what it is. That's part of why it went viral. That's part of it is because you're literally seeing somebody that's supposed to be protecting people.
Exactly.
And you're supposed to be helping people, and you're killing people. You're literally doing the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. So
on camera, and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I got out of that video watching that, man? What thoughts were going through that cop's mind at the time?
He didn't care. He just didn't give a fuck.
No, it was because when it was going down, there were people. There was one voice specifically. It sounded like he might have been a black male. He was like, "Bro, you killing him. Get off him.
Mm-hmm.
Get off him." And the look he had on his face was, well, I can't move now because then I might, I might look like a little bitch.
Yeah.
I might look like a bitch, and I was wrong for being on his neck like this. So I'm just gonna chill here.
And that's
that's all it was, man. He had no concern for this guy, all about his pride.
My heart can't take it, Usos. I can't. My heart can't take it. I'm a soft ass motherfucker nowadays.
I feel you, dog. That's what I'm saying.
I'm all about love, man. I'm about love. And if I watch that, it's just gonna bring more pain and sorrow. And I know what happened. I'm happy that things are happening. I'm happy that things are moving and finally some shit's happening. But that's my question though, is this a viral thing? Because we've witnessed it before with Rodney King. VHS. He didn't die.
But he didn't die.
He didn't die. But we witnessed the same thing after that happened. Yeah, they took the police to court. They got freed, and then what happened? There was a riots.
Right.
Yeah. And right now it's not the same exact thing, but it's somewhat the same with tenfold added on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, we have the riots, but now we have the ability to see what everyone across this country is saying about it, how they're reacting to it.
But it's not just this; it's years of this. I think it's like you said; it's
decades.
It all boiled up into this. Like it's like Rodney King was the first viral video that went viral before things could go viral. You know what I mean? So you add that, and then you add that, and then you just keep adding all of the deaths, all of them. You just keep them, and then you combine the virus. Everybody just being inside, cooped up, people losing their jobs, like this country is in shambles right now. It's like literally this country is falling apart left and right. So this is just on top of everything that's already happening. That's why this is now. Everything has to happen now because, I mean, if you think about it, in February, there's a guy that got gunned down for going for a jog in Georgia, and he there's a guy that was bird watching. In Central Park and got
crazy.
Got the, what I mean? These things just happened, so it's all boiling up. And so, that's why I feel like that's why it's important now.
Bro,
Well,
we
That's
just
why.
had somebody over here down the street. They just had his vigil protest
Yeah, I saw
yesterday.
that.
Same thing.
that's
Choked out, bro.
that's my
Choked
question though.
out.
We can go on and on and on and on and on and on about these stories. But my question is this a viral thing? Because we're 40-year-old men. We witnessed the Rodney King riots. We seen what happened.
Yeah, I
And
think it adds up. Like
yeah,
it's been
yeah.
adding up for 30 plus years since that.
And
It keeps
ex-
adding up. So I
exactly.
think I think it's viral, one, because of the nature of how it went down. You know what I mean? Like how me and Law were just kind of explaining. And then two, the virus, everybody being cooped up, people wanting to be outside and just to be social and feel like you're doing something. That's and then, it might be a thrill for some of these people doing something dangerous, like going out there and protesting. So
I just
yeah,
There's other parts to this that I believe have a lot to do with it. And I'll see if we'll lead into that, but I'm not going to go there just yet.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now to
As
go
to
back,
why, go ahead.
as to why what?
As to why this is so big, you know what I mean? I think there's other things that have a lot to do with it.
well, I'm just wondering that like this. What my point I'm trying to get to is, we've been there back in the LA riots, '92, and they still couldn't get it right. They still couldn't get it right. It's taken this long. They still couldn't get it right. Now before the LA riots, there was many, many more before that. Before the civil rights
Well, it wasn't public. A lot of that stuff
exactly.
wasn't public.
But
It's like you see it in the
do
newspaper.
you do
A
you
lot of
think it's going to change now? Do you
yeah.
think they will start getting it right?
I think the internet helps keep more and more people accountable. There's a reason why cops have body cams now, right? Like, aren't they supposed to be on almost all the time now? Like, so who knows? Like, it's supposed to happen, but
Do I think they're going to get it right now? I guess the answer to that right now, no. It's
Or
going
in
to
the
take
future?
a long fucking time. In the future, I don't.
Still, right?
I think this battle is going to go on for a long fucking time.
That's what I'm saying.
Our time.
That's what I'm saying. Like we witnessed it when we were kids in '92, and it's still going, and it's getting worse. So, and it's like nothing's changing.
A lot of it's
still the same.
systemic. A lot of people on the right would say, well, wouldn't you say that we're less racist now 100 years ago than what we were 100 years ago? Like, aren't we less racist? It's like, not necessarily. We're just politically correct now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
I think there's just more laws working for us now.
There is
politically correct now.
But you might still have people that are continuously racist that aren't vocal about it or hide it, and so unless you out yourself, you don't know if somebody's racist or not. You assume that they're not, but it's messed up because you have cultures of, so it's killer to see some of these young kids, teenagers posting stuff, it's racist stuff, you know what I mean, posting it on TikTok, and it's been going on. So it's like, so until you get to these younger generation that's racist and get them to change their thought process, yeah, this is always going to continue to be, because the people that are in power, which is majority white, that are people in power, financial, government, stuff like that, until you get more and more people, more diversity in there, and then from there, change the schools, change what we're teaching. That's why this is not a quick fix. This is gonna take years and years and years.
Well, yeah, that part is gonna take years, but the quick fix, I wouldn't call it a quick fix, but a fix could be starting with the police force. I mean, they gotta just revamp that whole entire fucking system.
Yeah, I mean you know who nailed it? You know who nailed it with the police force? And this is years ago on a stand-up, is fucking Chris Rock. Did you guys see that one?
Oh, still to today.
Talking about the bad apples.
Yes, yeah.
He's like, that's a lot of bad apples. And there's some jobs that should not have bad apples.
Yeah.
Like being a pilot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's right. You know what I mean? You can't have bad apples and shit like that. Not to say that it's more important than Black Lives Matter movement, but the politics, man. Politics, just everything. People that are in power and the people who are racist, the people who are in power, they're teaching it to their kids already. So those kids are going to grow up with that. And whether they start to change their mind or not, they're still going to pass a little bit down to their kids. It's going to take a long time for the real change to come around. You know what I mean? I think for immediately what people can and should do is, man, you got to keep on fighting, man. You got to keep standing up, because that's really all we can do right now. You know, with everything going on, you know, bad, good, bad, I always say, man, look, I'm not the type to go out and protest, but what I do in life is I spread love and morality and everything good I can to the people I do meet. You know what I mean? I try to leave a positive influence on the people that I do meet. And with me, I always hope, man, that act of kindness I did for this person, I'm betting he's going to return that shit to somebody else somewhere else down the line. And I don't stop that, man. And that's mainly because my parents raised me to be that way. You know, there's times I'd be wishing I could just be an asshole like the people I don't like. But I don't have it in me, man. I'm like, it's just, that's the only way you can do it, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be real. You got to be a good person yourself. Speak up when you're supposed to.
But our people know that already. The other people need to hear that because in a Samoan household, you know, it's all about discipline, follow, respect, right?
Yeah.
You go down, you ain't go down any stores, see a Palangi lady with her kids and they just screaming at the top of their lungs.
I know it, man. It's fucked up, and it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time. And, you know, not only is it starting to home, you know, there's places in this country where folks like us just don't have access to right now, and are not for a long time, because your ass is going to die. You try to go out there, right? These fucking racist KKK people with their fucking compounds and all that. How the fuck are minorities going to move into there and start to change people's minds and lives? How long is that going to take?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't going to work with the damn internet, because they spreading their hate. It's just going to take a long fucking time. I don't have the answers, man. You know? But what I do look at is like current situations, like how you say, why is this one so different? And I honestly look at it as the political war has a lot to do with this shit, man.
That's my fear. That's my fear.
It's an election year.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Besides the political war that's going on, that's my fear, is that this is just going to be another trend. Sad to say, but that's my fear. I don't want it to be that. I want it to be more than that. But motherfuckers, we've been living through this shit for so long. It's like, damn, man, is it ever going to change? That's my fear, is that we were just crying about coronavirus, and then all of a sudden this just took over, and nobody gives a fuck about COVID. It was just a trend.
Look at it. Listen to this, man. Going by history and by how everything's gone, if you go by patterns, this shit is going to blow over, and nobody's going to give a fuck. That's the way it should go with the way history of America and the people are.
History
the way it should go, we're not going to give a fuck about this in 6 months. That's the way it's supposed to go.
6 weeks.
Bruh,
6 weeks.
I'm saying.
For some people, 6 minutes, because then you flip to the next Twitter feed, and then you're just off to, what's good for dinner tonight.
Yeah, that's why I commented about the black square, right? That right there was just a big sign to me, like, fuck, man. You can't just put up one little thing and go back. If you're going to have to live this change.
I did that on Facebook with, like, the Paris thing. Remember that? You guys remember when that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I didn't do it for the Black Lives Matter, the BLM, because, for me, it's all the podcasts. Whatever my heart says, listen to my podcast, and then you'll know where my heart is. But I remember that, like, when we changed the For Paris thing, and I put the Paris line and all that. But,
and that's normal. There's nothing wrong with doing that, because that's our culture now. So if you go by history and how we're supposed to react, and how the politicians and corporations, they know how we're going to fucking react. everybody's not going to give a fuck in 6 weeks, right?
Well,
That's how it's supposed to go.
I don't want it to happen.
I know we don't. I'm just saying
like COVID already took over COVID. Nobody gives a damn about that no more.
Nobody gives a fuck about that no more.
And but it's good. Go ahead, Heinz.
To bring up the Drew Brees thing. So Drew Brees went on air yesterday with Yahoo Finance. He was on the Yahoo Finance channel. Somebody asked him about, when this new season starts, are you going to be taking a knee during the national anthem? And he literally just came out. It was like, he was like, basically, hell no, I'm not taking a knee. Like my grandparents, served in World War II, and every time I think about them, it's being disrespectful or whatever to the flag and to the military and all this stuff, and the backlash from basically all that people from his own team, his own receiver Michael Thomas was tripping on. Everybody was just like shocked at it. So he backpedaled today.
Yep, I seen that.
And then he came out with a statement and was like, "Oh, I didn't mean."
Apologizing.
I didn't mean, and then he had this generic picture of a white hand and a black hand, like embracing and stuff. Like, dude.
Oh, check this out, though, to play devil's advocate on that. If he was saying, I don't want to dishonor what he really brought up, should have been taken as you're saying fuck the Black Lives Matter movement. You know what I mean?
With the riots that are going on, like with the protesting, the stuff that's going on, and the fact that this was like 3 years ago when this happened, when it first started, when the reason why Cap was kneeling was because somebody from the military told him, you should probably kneel versus sitting down. First Cap was just sitting down, like on his ass,
Yeah, he just sat on the bench. He was just like, nah, I'm just going to sit down on the bench.
So he changed it to kneeling, which is more respectful. You know what I mean? For that's why I just laughed, I laugh because the most respectful thing you could do is take a knee. Like you're supposed to kneel before kings, and like when Jesus comes back, you're supposed to kneel. I mean, you could tell who all the fake Christians are that are really like, that really worship Trump when they stand up when Jesus comes back. Like all the people that are standing when Jesus comes back, those are going to be the people that worship Trump. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, dude. But because kneeling is a form of respect.
I love that.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why it's so funny. And so that's why I'm glad you brought up that it's political. So the political powers that be, like Trump and all his followers, they made it political by saying, that's disrespect. You're disrespecting the flag and you're disrespecting the military. And it's like, dude, these people are on their knees.
Well,
that's like a form of submission. So that's
not only the politicians make it a political thing, but just the racist people, they flipped it. They turned into some kind of racist thing. Like,
so it's racist to take a knee. It's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, people don't understand. It's
when you have that much hate in your heart, you'll do anything. You'll say anything.
Well, that's just their political machine in work is them using something for centuries that has been shown to be a form of submission, a form of respect, and to switch that down and to switch it to make it mean something else. That's what really cracks me up. And that's the political machine working right there.
Now I'm glad that's gonna be doing the Papa Willie. I'm glad it's gonna be embedded in history, because the old history books, throw that out the way. The internet is here to stay. Our grandkids are gonna know about this, what happened today, or like now with George Floyd.
For sure.
Now with George Floyd, damn man, how ironic is it that Kaepernick 3 years ago took a knee to fight against the same thing, police brutality, and this fool killed a black man with his knee. What the fuck, bro?
I just seen a scene from Fruitvale Station. Have you seen that movie?
Mm-hmm.
With Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
And like the move that he uses him at the end was literally knee to the neck, just exactly like how. And I was like, damn, this is crazy.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, talk about knee to the neck. You know how they're charging these officers? So the one thing I learned, I don't know where I heard it, but a lot of these cops will get away with their crimes because they're not charged properly. So if everybody was to push for first-degree murder, he's getting off. And if he's scot-free, he's done. Why? Because that knee to the neck is proper procedure for them. It's not premeditated. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you said that's the procedure, they said?
Yeah, that is a proper procedure for them to use that tactic.
Oh, see, that's what I mean. They need to revamp
Doing that
the whole
is
shit.
not illegal.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So what they have to get them on to put these fuckers away is, at least for the cop that had the knee on there, is like, say, a manslaughter charge. I don't know what second degree is in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think they changed it now because I think the Attorney General of Minnesota is he's taking over the case. So he just came out with some stuff yesterday about how they're going to charge all of them. I will say this though, I think there's one that I do have a little sympathy for, if you could, and for one of those officers, it was like their 4th day on the job, and so I don't know where he was at, but I could see why. I mean, he's new to this, so I could see him not really being able to pull rank to like save that dude's life, but if there's anybody that deserves I think a little bit of leniency, is maybe him, because he literally just was 4 days on the job. So
I don't think they will. I think they're going to make an example. They
could. Yeah, they could.
I think they are. I think they're going to be like, nope, we're making an example, so none of this will ever happen again. Hopefully it won't happen again.
I don't know. I don't know, because like we've said with Rodney King before, it's hard to actually prosecute these cops. You know what I mean? It's hard. So, but I think if there's anybody. So I'll just say that if there's any of them that has a good case, is maybe him being 4 days on the job. Like, hey, I'm new, so I'm just following what these fuckers are doing. So
I wanted to talk to you guys too about what do you guys take on the Usos, the Samoans, because you guys talked about that too in the Tough Block podcast, and that's what me and Lotu and Tyler were talking about. What's your guys' thoughts about that? About how, did you see the Samoans, the security guards? There's that one viral video. They're like, oh, they can't get to the Nike store because the Samoans are blocking everybody.
I mean, for me, they took a job, man. You know what I'm saying? To me, they took a job. I honestly didn't see nothing wrong with it. A lot of people hate me for saying this, but
you still there?
Me personally, yeah, I'm still here. Me personally, if I'm going to go protest and everybody starts busting up shit, I'm not looting for shit. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in destroying shit. I'm not going to go out and steal shit. To me, that has nothing to do with the point that I would be trying to get across. To me, it would be counterproductive. Now, yes, everybody says, but, this is the only way to get the attention. I get that. I get it. Me, I'm not going to do it. For me, that's not how I would go out and get attention. A cop could kill my kid, and I'm not going to go out and break fucking windows. You know what I mean? That's just not how I'm going to do it. And, man, it's just that's political right there. And now you're getting political.
The Samoans?
I mean, just the whole talking about them guarding a Nike store. Do you think the Samoans are sitting there like, I protect big corporations? No, they took a fucking job, right? I'm pretty sure they got paid pretty decent. They're like, fuck it, come on, let's go over there. At the same time, Samoan mentality, yeah, I want to see a motherfucker try to come up in here. I get to whoop somebody's ass.
I wonder if like somebody had an in, because what you guys were talking about, Heinz, was that it was up and down the whole West Coast, and this is where the Samoans are,
L.A. to Bay Area, Seattle.
The whole West Coast, bro.
It's funny, like that's where all the sightings of Samoans were at, outside of Nike stores, and it's like, Hey, yeah, you can't knock people for trying to make money. You know what I mean? Like, this is still a capitalist society. So, if they weren't paying them enough, they wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? If they were paying them, $2 an hour, then they ain't going to be outside that Nike store. So,
Bro,
that's exactly how capitalism works. That's just,
not not
that's,
only that, we're talking about it's 40 million people unemployed right now.
yeah, because there's
40
that
million.
too. That's
So
what I mean.
you're gonna be like, no, motherfucker, I need to get paid.
Yeah, you can't knock people for, like, now if they were doing it for free, yeah, then that might be something different. But,
See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people tend to forget that the COVID has destroyed our economy for a little bit. We got 40 million unemployed. So when I see the Usos out there, just like you said, Law, that's 100% true. They're trying to make some money. They're trying to get paid.
I mean, that's how I look at it. Like, I have Samoan friends, and I have Samoan friends that are cops. It's the same thing. It's like, everybody needs to make a living, so.
Not only that, look, I got Nike on, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why I thought it was cool for the Usos to do that. Number one, they just try to get paid. Number two, look, it's a BLM movement. Michael Jordan is the one who made this. He's the one who made the swoosh. Nike wasn't shit. They were nothing. So, a Meoli guy, Michael Jordan, says, I'm going to bring you guys up. And you're going to be past every single competition ever. And it's all because of, a black man. That's why Nike is big. No matter what anybody's trying to say. Nah, Jordan's the one who fucking blew up Nike.
I'm on the map, yep.
And on top of that, on top of that, Kaepernick. Come on now. Nike pulled Kaepernick, and they didn't pull him. They brought him back in as a poster, after all that taking a knee thing happens. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? If you want to protect something that's a good cause, I mean, Nike's doing good things, man. I mean, I don't care about what all the bullshit about. Well, I don't know if it's bullshit, but they got sweatshops all the way in Asia or some shit like that. But the bottom line is what's going on now is what matters. Kaepernick, he did promotional ads to support the BLM movement years ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to give it up for Nike. They basically paying him now versus because he's not working as a NFL player. So now, I mean, same thing. That's just like Nike, one of the very first organizations. Now you're right. They might have some issues with some of their labor of how their stuff is being built, but at least on this side, they're doing a good job of at least marketing to the people and getting in front of things. With their commercial, they had their commercial, the Just Don't Do It commercial that has been out. So I mean,
and that's a good segue because we're gonna take a quick commercial right quick, and then we're gonna get right back into the Nike subject with Heinz.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean,
go ahead. Then we're back.
Yeah, with Nike is like, I'm not necessarily the biggest Nike fan, and those guys got to get paid too. But I understand, like, the people that do need help are some of those small businesses that need that protection or whatnot. But
I mean, I got a question. I mean, the fact that Samoans are guarding the Nike store and not letting people break their windows, does that mean people are looking at them like you're supporting racists?
You're supporting
Is that what the whole issue?
You're supporting corporations, and
see, to me, that's dumb. They fucking know better. You know better than a fucking 8 Samoans standing in front of Nike is not supporting a corporation.
Yeah, back with you said that 8. You don't think 8 Samoans is supporting a corporation?
Oh yeah. So everybody's saying okay, they're supporting corporations. Now, that's that technical bullshit I don't like. I don't like that taking shit out of context. If 8 Samoans are out there in front of fucking Nike, preventing people from breaking those fucking windows, they're just security getting paid to stop you from doing that. They're not standing out there saying corporate America fucking rules. And I hate it when people take that kind of shit and turn it into that. To me, that's another big fucking problem why shit never gets solved.
Or
everybody's always taking technical little things and twisting it. That's not why they're there.
Or
And you can't.
you're upset that that's their opinions of us Samoans, that you know that we're for
Well,
corporate America kind of.
yeah, just anybody. You know what I mean? Like, it could be white guys, black guys standing out there. Oh, well, you're for corporate America. You're
Oh, okay.
against BLM. No, we're just here to make sure you don't break this one.
Oh, I got
You
you.
know, you're gonna break something, go fucking break that. We just happen to be paid here to make sure you don't break this one. Does that mean I'm against your cause? Does that mean I'm for corporate America and fuck the poor man? No. But when people twist shit for what it's not and go outside the realm of common sense, it fucks it all up. You get nowhere that way. That's how I am, man. It's like, you know the real deal, but they don't want to take the real deal. They want to twist that shit. Political. Everything always goes political.
There was a tweet that I saw, and I forgot who tweeted it. It was some girl, and I loved it because it said there's 3 type of people in these riots. There's the protesters, the peaceful protesters, number 1. Then there's number 2 is those Antifa people, you know, those anarchy guy, anti-corporation people who wiggle their way into those peaceful protests and start shit. They're the ones bashing all the windows, lighting shit on fire, causing trouble. And then there's number 3, the looters. The people who are just broke. They just want some free shit. You know, they just see somebody grabbing some free shit, like, fuck it, let me get some free shit. And once she broke it down on Twitter that way, I was like, fuck. Okay, that's true. But people don't know about the number 2 people. You know, a lot of people don't know who the fuck those number 2 people are that are fucking shit up for everybody.
Yeah, and for me, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's all I think needs to be, you know.
That's exactly where
shown.
I say I wanted to go with it. And to me, it's just common sense, man. Like, Antifa, I mean, I read up what they're about, but
explain to the listeners what Antifa is.
Anti-fascism. That's what they're supposed to battle against, right? But I'm always that common sense guy. Okay, that's your cause, right? But who the fuck are these people? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, BLM. Who's standing up for BLM? Black people, people of color, white people that are tired of black people dying. Everybody. Who the fuck are these Antifa people? Right?
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are they? Like, seriously, what do you do during the day? What was your upbringing? What made you this way? What the fuck are you really fighting for?
They just suburban Kamiki that have nothing else better to do. They find a little niche, like, and then they go hard in the paint when it comes to this Antifa stuff. Did you see that viral video?
You know, you gotta have time to travel to another state to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You ain't gonna have a 9 to 5 and a good job, or run your own business and have time to go fuck around in another state for a week and break shit up and be ready to go to jail for it. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And did you guys see that viral video? That Maori girl, and she was like videotaping those 2 Antifa people who were just smashing up that Starbucks, and they had a spray can and they were spraying, you know, F the police, BLM, and they were like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're fucking up our protests."
Yeah, they said, "No, we're not here to do that. What are you doing?" Yeah,
it's like Antifa people are fucking up the BLM movement with their own because of their own agenda.
I also think it's hard to label it. It's hard to label everybody correctly because they could be. You don't know if they're Antifa for sure either because they could just be stupid people. You know, stupid people that are just out there just trying to cause chaos. They are literally not affiliated with nobody, but it's like, you know, they live like 10 miles away, 20 miles away. They decided to go to their nearest city and, you know.
It's true. They get emotions, get all hyped.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them just seem like fucking crybabies that want to go somewhere.
Have you guys ever been around the riot, been in a riot before?
Yeah. I was at
WTO.
Yeah. I was down there, WTO.
Yeah.
I was down there. I was
protesting.
Like, no, it's exactly. I was
down there working.
You were working. I was one of the ones who just like got emotional. I was like, well, let me go see what this is all about just because it's in my neighborhood. Because I was living in Seattle at the time. Well, let's go check it out. So I drive down there and I'm just like just a watcher. I'm just like watching on the sidelines away from it. like the protesters, and they're battling. The riot gear's out. They're shooting, all the tear gas. And I was just like, the fuck are they writing about? And at the same time, I'm watching the King 5 News, and I see these cats with bandanas, hoodies, smashing windows, throwing rocks in the windows. I'm like, who the fuck are these cats? Why are they covering up their faces? And this was back in 2000,
99.
No,
99. This is 99.
Yeah.
And now they get away with it more because of COVID. Everybody's wearing a mask. But back then, I was like, who the fuck are those cats? This is when, I mean, I learned from WTO what it was about to the news. It's the World Trade Organization. They didn't like what was going on, so they're going to have peaceful protests. But then they were saying all these anarchists are coming from Oregon, fucking shit up. And I was like, and then they just videotaped, these are the ones. They're wearing these masks. They're trying to hide their face. And obviously you could tell because they're all trying to hide their face, So, yeah, little experience.
Yeah, with me, when it comes to that kind of shit, man, it's like you got 5 to 10% that are far left, 5 to 10% of the country that's far right, and then there's the rest of us. You know what I mean? And it just seems like that 5 to 10 on either side are really the ones that are dictating how shit gets run around here, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if they're. I mean, I think they're the loudest ones, or they're the ones that are like most active.
What they do is what goes into the news feeds.
Yeah.
What they do is what gets talked about by the leaders, not what the rest of the fucking country's doing, not what the rest of us are trying to say. What we say is social media, and that's all we really got.
Yeah.
So when you got those fuckheads doing what they're doing, it's just, it pisses me off, man. Pisses me off. That's another reason why it's going to take a long fucking time, because not only do you have to deal with racism itself, you got to deal with these wackos that are just stuck on a belief. You know what I mean? A belief that I don't know what the fuck they're trying to destroy. Oh shit. The police rolling up on somebody. Anyway. Yeah. A lot of the political shit got a lot to do with it. I mean, like, look at the fucking protests, right? Everybody's saying, okay, these fucking pallets of bricks were brought in, right?
Yeah,
what's everybody saying? Who brought the bricks in? Who brought the bricks in? Oh, that's the Republicans and,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's the other one too. Is like I've seen also videos of people saying that there's like undercover cops that are going in that are starting riots and stuff.
But the earpiece hanging out their ear.
I mean, that's why it's like it's really hard to say who's who. Like who's who out there. Like if there's undercover cops out there that are instigating the riots from the other side, like throwing shit at their coworkers, it's like what is going on?
Okay.
Yeah, well, check this out, man. So I went to the Art Institute in 07 and 08, right? And I had an instructor there that was talking about the old WTO riots. And he was telling me a story about our guy who ran the audio cage. And he was like, you guys remember when the girl was getting maced by the cop when she was just sitting in the car filming? She won like 1.5 mil from the city or whatever that shit is. We're like, all right, that's cool,
I didn't even realize
he played the video. Yeah, he played the video, and there's no reason why she should have got maced. They're just sitting in the car, and she had this old camcorders and shit. Wow. And the cop was like, what the fuck are you doing? And she was like, oh, I'm just documenting or something like that. He said, turn that shit off. He said, give me that shit. And she was like, no. And she's like pulling it away. And he just started, she's sitting in the passenger. He just starts fucking macing her, trying to take the camera away. And so the dude that ran the audio cage, we had a parking garage under the Art Institute. And he was telling us literally, man, and I believe this dude because he had no reason to lie. He said he was down there one day and he sees, they weren't called Antifa back then, but what they were fucking calling them back then?
Anarchists?
Yeah, anarchists. They were calling he sees these fucking 4 anarchists come walking in. And he's like, oh shit, He didn't think much of it. But then he just started listening to what they're saying. And they're just laughing and joking like regular people. And literally take off their suits. And he says they're wearing fucking Seattle PD uniforms.
Oh.
Wow.
Like, no bullshit. And I was like, are you
Oh.
fucking serious? He goes, and his name was Pete. Pete said,
Oh.
yeah, Pete didn't want nobody to know, but, you know,
Shout out
enough
to
time's
Pete.
gone by. And Pete said, yeah. And he laid on the
Fuck
ground,
that, Pete. Let him
shit in
know,
his
Pete.
pants. And he was just like, oh, my fucking God, if they see me, they're going to fucking kill me.
Oh.
So he just laid there and tried to scoot under the car as much as he could. And they just threw all their shit in the trunk in an unmarked car and pulled out of the parking garage and left. And the parking garage is on Elliott. You know where Elliott meets 99? You can jump on 99.
Yep.
Yeah, right
by
over there.
Ohana's, right? Kind of.
Oh, yeah, down the street from, yeah.
Yep.
And then, yeah, that's right where it happened, man. I was like, it makes sense.
Well,
you know,
that's because that's where the Art Institute is at, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yep, right there, the
exactly.
parking garage under the Art Institute. And, you know, it makes sense, you know? And so, you know, everything is just common sense. Like when these bricks got brought in, you know, people are blaming the far right side. I said, but, you know, if you look at the bigger picture, who stands to gain if the country is out of control right now? Okay, if we look at the political war. The left side stands to gain the more this fucking country burns right now. You know? And you got all this shit going on. You got the far right and the far left.
Why do you say that?
Why do I say the far left has most to gain right now?
Yeah.
I mean, both sides are just as corrupt as each other. Straight up. That's how I see it. None of them are truly looking out for the people, in my opinion. They all seem to do shit just to get themselves back in power. Now, do I see the far left pulling this kind of shit? Let's burn this country down while Trump's in, you know, let's get him out of there.
Oh, this is to get Trump out of office.
Yeah. I don't see them putting it past him, you know?
I was going to say, I mean, you could also make a case for the right as far as because Trump is in power right now, this also gives him more power. He's able to bring in the military and he's able to basically bring in all these people that are basically government control could be more under his control right now with what's going on is one argument too. I could see people saying is what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, at the same time, he's Trump. The guy's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot, and he's going to do shit to swing his cock around. You know what I'm saying? Just like when he said, I do whatever, by federal law, I do whatever the hell I want. Like, no real politician is going to say that out loud. He's an idiot. And he's got his pride, and he'll back it with whatever he wants to back it with. So it just seems like, man, it's just a constant battle. And then, you know, what do you do when you're a politician? You gotta grab on whatever the fucking masses are attracted to, and that's how you can control them. You know, so why this shit is so viral? I just honestly believe they got a hand in it, man.
The politicians.
You know, they got a hand in this shit. They can make it look however the fuck they want to make it look. Just like how they're saying, oh, right now all the stations are just putting up all the violence, all the looting. Yeah. But more than the looting are the peaceful people out there not fucking looting, not fucking, you know, displaying violence. We don't get to see that. They had a whole day go by of peaceful protests and then a few hours of rioting in Seattle, right? All we seen was the bullshit.
That's true. That's why we're here with the podcast, to just keep sharing the truth instead of, you know,
Tacoma had
bullshit,
multiple peaceful fucking protests. No coverage on that, but they had a little bit of reports on some downtown buildings getting windows broken in. All a bunch of white kids.
Well, you know just like that's it's the
only
same
thing you heard out of Tacoma.
It's the same thing with the COVID, bro. It's like, you know, they didn't give a fuck. Nobody, these fucking news networks weren't fucking covering anything about COVID-19. They didn't give a shit. But once it went hot, it gave them clicks, it gave them ratings. Everybody was on it. So yeah, you might be true about your statement about it. They probably got a hand in it because all the all the politicians have some link to all these fucking news networks, man. It's so fucking
I mean, it's
corrupt.
true. I mean, it's true on any level, man. I mean, look at, okay, music right now. With my band Stay Grounded, I could easily use this shit to boost the fuck out of the band, but I refuse to. You know what I mean? Any band out there that can go out there and just like start singing for the cause, that's a good fucking move for you to do right now. But me, honestly, I'm not going to do that, man, because I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's right for me to go out there and push my own little greedy agenda just to make my band more popular. And there's other bands that are, you know, they're doing the music for the right cause, but there's some just taking advantage. And it's human nature, man. There's some people that just
taking advantage of
they're going to take advantage.
The BLM movement? Oh, yeah.
They take advantage of everything, man, and it's fucking bullshit. You know, so that's why, I mean, I think that's all that has a lot to do with why this is so different.
It's a sad time, you know, because there's a lot of compassionate people out there in the world. You know, even though I look like a scary motherfucker, I'm one of those people who has a big heart. And just seeing all this shit going down with you know, the George Floyd video. I didn't watch it. I don't want to watch it, but just knowing what's going on. And
dude, it's heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, and just continuous numerous videos back and forth. It's like,
you know,
where are we right now? Like, how can we help out our polys that are here, you know, having to go through this, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like all these people, man, people of color, especially our black community, just can't live here and just be able to just go find happiness. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be something in their way. There's always going to be people hating them for no fucking reason. That's a fucking fucked up way to live, man. You know?
Bro.
That's what I'm starting to see. That's what I'm starting to see more than ever. So there is good that everything went viral. Just because I have my opinions and thoughts of why. Sometimes it doesn't matter. The thing is, we're starting to see this. And like you were saying, but how long will we allow ourselves to see this? But what's it going to take for everybody to keep seeing this and not let it go?
I like how you were saying, you know, it starts from the home, you know, and regardless if it's not a Polani household that's getting it, at least we can teach our households, you know what I'm saying? And I heard you guys and Heinz and everybody on that podcast talk about you can start at home, you know. So like with me and Law, we got children. We could always start at home. I love that point you made earlier, Bruce, that you said it starts from home. How your teachings is, you know, how you can just talk to your household, whether it be your children or your spouse or whatever. I'm just trying to figure out how to put it out there in our space. What kind of ways we can help out our community that's living through this, and how it can better ourselves and prepare ourselves for the next one. Because history repeats itself. This shit gonna happen again. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you know, honestly, at this point, man, if there's any message I would want to put out, it would be, this is the perfect time. We see it now. It's the perfect time to really to learn and study up on this shit and know what the fuck we're really dealing with. You know, I don't know enough to tell you guys, tell anybody out there, you need to go out there and fight for this. I don't know, but it is the perfect time to recognize we got a problem and recognize we got to learn up and figure something out. Everybody needs to start working together to figure something out. Nobody has the answer right now, because if they did, we'd know what the fuck to do by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to piggyback off of what you're saying, I think that's what you got to do is learn, do your research, and look at who in your town and who do you know who the chief of police is in the city or town you live in? You know, like, do you know their history? Do you know where they're from? Do you know what they're about? Do you know? And I think you need to do that with all of your local politics and stuff, and local like people that make decisions for the place that you live on a day-to-day, year to month-to-month, year-to-year basis, and kind of understand, you know, does the city that you live in have your back? And if they don't, then you need to, you know, like figure out what you need to do to make some changes, whether it be, you know, with whoever. And even if, like, you know, some people say that, oh, you know, I'm not registered to vote. Well, if you can't vote, I would say the other way you vote, and the other way we all vote every day, is with our dollars. And so is making sure that you once again, do your research, make sure that you're supporting businesses that are with the cause, you know, whether it be, you know, no businesses are perfect, but we brought up Nike, you know, hey, they jumped in front of this before all this happened with, you know, signing with Cap and all that stuff, or signing Cap and all that stuff. So, you know, kudos to them on that part, at least. You know, they might not be, you know, like I said, they might not be the most perfect company, but at least they're, you know, trying to bring some kind of awareness out there to the general public. So yeah, so those are kind of my things too. You know, it's like, you know, continue to learn and continue to do research and kind of figure out who in your neighborhood and stuff is really doing things to help you and stuff, and do
Final
research on your city council members and all that good stuff.
final words.
Oh, I thought those were my final words.
Oh, no, that's what it sounded like. No, those were.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Law?
Final words, man. Educate yourself. You know, learn a little something before you speak. You know.
Yep.
Try to understand what's going on. Try to understand what you're talking about when it pertains to this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thank you guys for coming on again, and it's another crazy time right now. We had to do something. You know, I love it because it really leaves a mark in history for us.
I mean, we literally are living through history right now. Like every day is history. And, and you guys said it in the beginning too. It's like our kids, our grandkids, they're all gonna, you know, possibly learn about this in school when this period of time, what's going on. And so what's dope is every podcast that you're creating, that you guys are creating, that we're creating, these are just gems of history that our families, our people, whoever, they can listen to years from now. So yeah, that's dope, man. Thanks for putting this together, Oos. I appreciate it. Thank you for the invitation, and just, yeah, man, it's always good talking to you guys.
Always, man.
Hell yeah.
Always a pleasure. And you know, my final words are pretty much like what you guys were talking about. And you know, my podcast is financial education. I like to say first, because I think that's the most important thing that we can teach and preach to our Samoan, Polynesian, you know, Pacifica people. Financial, just like educate yourself. This is how I put it. Financial education, it gets you money. Money equals power. And like, I forgot what the Spider-Man movie said, with great power comes great responsibility. So financial education can help you, get you in places where you can help the Black Lives Matters movement, where you can help Mount Mauna Kea, where you can help all kinds of things that really matter to certain people in our lifetimes right now. And another thing that I want to end off is with The Rock. The Rock had a video he posted on Facebook, and that was beautiful. I shared it, and it was all about, he was asking Trump, where are you? You know, that was his thing. Where are you? We need a leader. Where is our leader? So he was going hard in the paint about that. So financial education will help you, get you to support not only your families, but damn, it can help you support any movement you want to get into, you know, whether it's being monetary, like you said, Heinz, or just, you know, like Law said, just educating yourself. It'll gain more knowledge in your life for you and your family, to benefit you and your family, your loved ones. And then The Rock, it's my Uso right there. our number one go-to guy, you know, putting the president of the United States on blast. Like, hey, fool. He's like, I'm half black and I'm Samoan. What's up? What the fuck you
doing? He was like, what about that time in Smoke's backyard? You try to choke me out. Oh, that was different.
Dude, I think he's gonna I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him run for president. You know?
Yeah, man, that's been the rumor everybody was hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
why not? Why not?
We're just elected famous people out here now, so
yeah.
Bro, he's not afraid to be the best, so I don't see why he wouldn't.
He already respects the office more than our current president, you know. So he's, because I've heard him talk about how he feels like he needs to understand a little bit more. It's like, bro, you just need to be famous. That's all you need.
Feel it, man.
That's all you literally need to be president. Just be famous, and you know.
Literally, Ronald Reagan was an actor.
There you go.
Former president. He was an actor. Yeah. So, yeah, there's The Rock. You should rock for president. And with that being said, we're going to end it like that. Not only is it the BLM movement, he's Samoan and he's Maori. So what more better way to end it like that? Just listen to it.
And you know what? You know what else?
What's that? Go ahead, bro.
The other thing I need to say is we're the three best friends that anyone could have. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. And we'll never, ever, 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 ever leave each other. I think that's how it goes. But hey, DJ Han, thank you for having me on. Heinz, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Great show, man. Thank you guys. I needed to get that out.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to get that out, and you know, I wanted to share it with my Usos just like we did before. You know, with the whole pandemic thing that swept our country back in the 1918s. And now we got this whole, you know, fast forward 100 years later, now we got this whole civil rights movement, you know, kind of happening again. So, yeah, man. Hey, we're your local news. Usos, Polynesians out there.
I mean, we have 100 years of history jammed into the last 3 months. So.
For real, bro. You know, World War III almost popped off earlier this year too.
Yeah,
shit, bro.
true.
Like,
and World War III.
It's crazy. World War III, yeah. Fucking crazy.
Yeah. Side note: there were 1 million African Americans who served in World War II. There's rarely any movies about that. You know, rarely. But you know, I'm a World War II fanatic, but. And then on another note, the Black Lives Matters movement, there's been big corporations showing love, showing support. Got Apple showing support, Spotify, DoorDash, because I work for DoorDash, or actually I'm an independent contractor, so you know I'm not an employee. But was the last one was Ben and Jerry's I saw?
Yeah, Ben and Jerry's had something. Had a statement.
They said they're having a ice cream named "Fuck the Police" or something like that.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God, that's what their statement
Or is it fudge the police?
Yeah, something like that. It was a tweet I saw. I might be wrong, but yeah, shouts out to Ben and Jerry's. But there's a lot of good things going on, you know, around the world that nobody's really well, the media ain't really tending to. But that's my last final thoughts is, you know, show some love, people, and vote for The Rock for president. Make things happen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Usos, for tuning in. You know,
thank you.
We'll do it again through the next emergency. And one love to everybody out there, man. Peace, love, and so far, so far. Peace out, y'all. Hold out the dubs.